And that's the point, that if there are journalists who have transgressed, who have crossed the line, action should be taken over there so that the message goes out that you cannot do what you want and get away with. That's the same point journalists often say in their shows, in their pieces, when it comes to talking about politicians, or when it comes to talking about generals in the army. That's the same standard that journalists must be held accountable to as well. Can the credibility ever be restored? I'm heading towards the last set of questions. We'll put this question first to Hartosh Bal. Can credibility be restored when people watch broadcasts or read columns written by these people in time to come? Will they believe that this is something which is an honest piece of writing, an honest broadcast, or will they always have in the back of their mind, I wonder who's sponsoring this and why? Hartosh. Okay, I'm going to go back to Hartosh in just a bit. That's one of the other things that keeps happening in live TV. But
yeah, that's right, because there should be punished. Because if there is a quid pro quo, if the journalist has crossed the line of duty, it should be punished. Obviously, they should be. My question is, one has to look at the kind of journalism which is happening now. One has to look at the mechanism how people are controlling media these days. They are journalists who sold their shares at 100 rupee share for 6,000 rupees to tainted share brokers, then mine mafia. They should be also investigated.
What are their names?
No, I don't want to name anybody, because there are people, it's on record, that some people own TV channels. Where the money is coming from? Did they sell their share to some corporate houses at some 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore? The whole thing is, it has to be transparent, that how mining mafia took over a particular newspaper or a magazine, how a broker who was tainted, arrested, or took over a magazine. These are the questions that has to be discussed. I think ownership, now everybody is talking principle, or failed journalists who are lobbyists for political leaders, who are columnists, but they lobby for political leaders in the garb of journalism. It is such a big mess happening out here that everybody has to be looked into. Yes, accountability has to be there. Our credibility has suffered. We'll find it very difficult to restore ourselves, for which we have to do some kind of a massive surgery.
Okay, you're calling for a massive soul searching. How can this credibility be restored, and will it get restored? Dilip?
You know, there's one more issue which we need to discuss when we ask this question. One is the whole issue of paid journalism and paid news. What Prabhu is referring to, of people taking control of news channels, news media, is an extremely dangerous fact of life. We have to recognize that the public must go behind this veil and see where the beneficial ownership is. And today, that is being compromised. So it's not just journalists who are being compromised, it's the very platforms on which they perform that is being compromised. And this is something that merits action if we as a society need to continue to rely on the fourth estate as being one of the pillars of democracy. If that is compromised, we lose a lot.
You look at the Rajya Sabha MPs who run mines, they take over the papers, magazines. Right. There are people who are talking openly on behalf of the corporate house. I have fixed the debate in parliament. So it is soft debate.
Okay.
It is already there that I am fixing because 20,000 crore rupees are involved. Is Arun Shourie a dishonest journalist? Somebody should look at it. If we say 20,000 crore rupees, whether the brothers are involved or not, it is like somebody says one day in advance that we have already managed this man. These are the things we have to talk about it. Because this is a rut everywhere, rotten. If the state is rotten.